tonight on WrestleMan with a podcast. We got the long anticipated return of one Matthew Warmus after 2 very long weeks and a high demand of him coming back. He is back with me, and it is just him tonight. No Troy, which is actually kind of cool. We've never done a one-on-one before. It's just been me and Troy. That's been just me and him. So that'll be pretty cool. And I wanted to get Matt tonight because we got a lot to talk about. We got Jacob Fatu's long anticipated debut on SmackDown, destroying 3 main eventers just like that. We got on the same episode, Drew McIntyre basically almost killing CM Punk pretty much and bloodying him up. And that feud just continues to be one of the best in all of wrestling. And right before that, we got a cool Punk Paul Heyman reuniting. So we'll discuss that. Speaking of Gable, Gable is alive. He is not dead. He is alive. And he is somehow won a match. And we will definitely go over that and just how truly inspirational he is. So yeah, just pure chaos, mass hysteria, Ghostbusters reference there in the wrestling landscape here. So let's quit wasting time. Hit the music.
Welcome to WrestleMan with the podcast. I'm Dylan Shields. We talk Raw, SmackDown, wrestling news, and some fun top lists. With that being said, ring the bell.
Alrighty, let's not waste any time here. On his phone, and I promise you that hopefully will mean he will not glitch out at all this episode. Let's bring him on. Matthew Warmus is back. Matt,
hey!
how are we doing, Matt?
I finished my homework. I turned it in, so...
Hey, great time in here. And I saw in the background you were laughing at my intro. It was your long anticipated return. The dozens and dozens of viewers just demanded to see you, so I gave the viewers what they wanted.
Yeah, what a week it's been.
Oh yeah, I did not expect of all weeks this week because wrestling is still like it's been cooking, but there's always the post WrestleMania where it's kind of just like a lot of guys are gone and maybe just the storylines aren't heating up. But now we're in the summer, and we're heating up to SummerSlam very well here in WWE. So, very exciting stuff. And I don't think you've gotten to see this, Matt. You get to be part of a PowerPoint. I usually do that when it's just me, but just for you, I did the usual PowerPoint with you.
It's whatever I've always dreamed of having.
Oh, yes. And you see that great picture there with me and you holding the ones and having the same bloodline shirt. And I
don't know who that person is. That ain't me.
But let's just get right into it. And we got to start with Lay at the Smack Talk because I believe this was the best SmackDown all year, without a doubt. And what a perfect place to do it in Chicago. It kicked off with CM Punk cutting a great promo bragging about Drew. And then Paul Heyman came out. Again, we keep mentioning this. Give this damn guy an Emmy or an Oscar or anything because that man is just emotionally distraught.
This is why he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but he's doing
why he got inducted this year because he's just gold.
He's doing his best work after he got inducted too. And Punk was even like, "Are you all right, man?" And then they hugged, and that got a huge pop. And then, of course, Heyman like warning Punk, like, "Hey, please get out of the ring." So, and I like how they bring up stuff from outside of just like SmackDown or the shows. They said like some radio sports show said Punk is Chicago, and Solo wasn't happy about that. So that was a pretty cool, unique detail there. And then Solo came out, interrupted, and warned Punk. And I love this line when Punk was like, "What was that favor you asked for me to leave the ring?" And Heyman's like, "Take me with you."
I laughed at that. I was just like, that is so true. But when Punk came out, I was like, okay, if anyone can save Heyman right now, it's literally Punk. And obviously it ain't going to happen, but, Roman's going to be the one who has to save Heyman, but
Still, though, just to see those two together again was awesome. And then Punk teasing, like, I acknowledge you, that you guys are just a bunch of fake ass Usos and a cosplay tribal chief. And then Cody came to save the day. So just an awesome moment there. And I know we'll talk about what ends up happening to Punk, but maybe down the line, Punk will feud with the Bloodline, maybe. Who knows, as early as like this year? I know the War Games thing has been hyped up and trying to figure out who's the members of who. Maybe Punk's involved in it. Who knows? So, yeah, you never
We won't know until we find out.
I've always pictured in my head, it's not going to happen, but like a super Heyman team of Paul Heyman's guys, Roman, Punk, and somehow if Lesnar comes back, those three main guys. No, he doesn't count. No,
an RVD.
Maybe him. But the super like Paul Heyman team with his guys, but we'll see where that goes. Let's talk about Chelsea Green qualifying for Money in the Bank. I did not expect that. I thought 100% Bianca was winning, but
I was hoping she won, and when she won, I was like, yes. Either she should win the Money in the Bank, or Tiffany should.
Yeah, so, honestly, one of those two. I mean, the crowd seemed to love it too when she got that pin. That was an amazing moment.
Chelsea is so over right now.
Oh my God, yeah. I think she said too in an interview or something like, if I win Money in the Bank and win the title, I'm bringing back the Divas title.
Yeah, and I saw like a post on Instagram saying like, what if they don't actually bring back the title, but she cashes in for the title that's vacated, so she automatically wins the title or something. And I'm like, what?
It makes sense with her character since she's like diva-esque. So
that will be the mid-card title. The women's division
is the mid card.
I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of what it was.
But yeah, very good for her, and she'll be, I believe, in her hometown of Toronto, or at least home country. So she'll be extremely over there. Let's talk about the other qualifying matches. How about Carmelo Hayes? It was a roll up, but he pinned Randy Orton and qualified, and I love that decision too.
So, as of right now, I feel like Jey Uso has like the biggest chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
But out of all the four guys that have qualified so far, he's like the least one I want to win. And right now, I think, other than Jay, I think Melo has a good chance of winning. Because he seems like that type of person who could be Mr. Money in the Bank that could hold it for a while and like get over with it.
I've always preferred heels holding it too, because when they cash in, it's like a more shocking moment. Because when the baby faces hold it, they don't act like cowards. They just challenge them to a match. So yeah, I'd prefer any type of heel. The other guy who qualified for Money in the Bank was Andrade, and that finish to that match was so good. That rolling stutter into Andrade's DDT finisher. Oh, that was amazing. And it seems like they're using, I hate to say underutilized guys, but guys who aren't in big stories like Carmelo and Andrade and putting them in this match. And I agree. And I like that they're doing that. And you said, you were texting us being like, both these matches look stacked. Like, you're really liking so far the matches.
Well, if you think about it too, like out of the men's and women's, the only person that has actually won the Money in the Bank was Io from last year. Mm-hmm. So everyone else has either not been in a Money in the Bank match or has been in it but hasn't won. Like Andrade was in like 2019, I believe, or something like that. Mm-hmm. But that was like way back when, and that was also a different Andrade too. So, you know, having like Chelsea Green in it for the first time, having Carmelo Hayes in it for the first time, having Chad Gable in it for the first time. When you told me that Chad Gable qualified, I was like, oh shit, he's gonna cook in that match.
Yeah, I think they should just keep doing that every year. Guys who haven't won world titles or haven't won Money in the Bank should be in those matches. They've done for too many years established guys who don't need the briefcase in the matches. Like when Cena won the briefcase, Orton won it. Like those guys don't need it. With these
I
other
don't
guys, yes.
I don't mind if we have like one person or so that has like won it before, so they can be like the say, hey, none of you have won it before, but I have, and I'm gonna win it again or something like I don't mind that, but I do prefer like a lot of the contenders be ones that have never won it. So,
well, let's talk about a match that's going to happen next week. The segment with LA Knight calling out Logan Paul, but Escobar interrupted, and Knight attacked Escobar, but then Logan Paul attacked LA Knight from behind, and we got a triple threat with Paul, Knight, and Escobar next week. And I'll give my quick kind of prediction. I feel like because these Logan Paul and LA Knight are in a heated rivalry, I feel like Escobar is going to take advantage of that and sneak in some roll up or something and win the match, because Paul and LA Knight are established and are in a rivalry. They don't need to be in the match. They're not going to be world champions anytime soon. At least Escobar, like I said, with these underutilized guys, he could use that win.
I think I have a different opinion on that. I think that Logan Paul's actually going to win to be in the Money in the Bank again because of him being a draw. But I feel like LA Knight's going to come out and cost Logan Paul for Logan to be so pissed off that he finally gives LA Knight a title match at SummerSlam, saying like, "Oh, you wanted a title match so bad, fine, but it's on my terms in my hometown of Cleveland and at SummerSlam." That's what I think is going to happen.
That could be definitely happening. It'd be funny if Logan Paul would be like, "Oh, Cleveland's going to love me. They're going to cheer me." And he doesn't, get booed.
We're in the car.
But yeah, I'm excited for that match. I don't know what the other matches are for SmackDown. Tiffany's got to be in it. I just don't know who. I haven't seen
I
yet.
think there was 2 women's triple threat. I think they were announced. One had I think Jade Cargill and Candice, and I think Tiffany or something. And then the other one had Naomi, Indy, and someone else, or it was them in it. I don't know which order and what match, but I think Naomi's in a match with Tiffany.
Okay, I'm gonna say whatever match Tiffany's in, she's got to win. She probably
which I think it's Naomi, Indy, and Tiffany, and it's Candice, Jade Cargill, someone else. I don't remember the other person, but
actually, my roommate Dylan, who you were at Mania, suggested this, and they usually sometimes do this. He said, and I wouldn't be surprised if this happened either, if there was a last chance, like battle royal type deal with guys who lost those matches.
That's what I was thinking too. That's what I was hoping that they would do, like a whole, But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, how are you going to do that? Because it's both from Raw and SmackDown. So it's like, I think it's like, 6 people? They're in the Money in the Bank matches. So it's like 3 from Raw, 3 from SmackDown. So unless it's like, I don't know, they just do like 5 of them and then they just do a cross-branded battle royal. But then that defeats the purpose of a brand split. Which then again, CM Punk was just on SmackDown, so who the fuck cares anymore?
Yeah, let's get into that. Let's get into the more main event stuff because, the brand split is the shit. Not just because of Punk, but because of Drew McIntyre, who has the record for the shortest time from quitting to coming back in not even 4 days. I will say I love the way they set it up with Grayson Waller arguing with DIY and then hearing like the attack and they like ignore it at first and then it slowly opens. And I loved, since it was daylight out, I loved it that Drew and Punk were kind of like shadows. It kind of made Drew look like evil pretty much and destroyed and bloodying Punk. These one shots, as a video production major, those shots aren't easy to do, but when they're effective, they are amazing. The one-shotters, Drew just like carrying Punk to the arena and just throwing him down. And then when Nick Aldis said, "What the hell are you doing?" and Drew shoved him. And I think Drew even had an F-bomb that they didn't censor on time. So
Drew's going to get Nick Aldis out of retirement.
But this is, we're past the trolling stages of this feud. This is literal blood feud. And I don't know, because I think you said you didn't watch All Raw. You noticed Drew steal a bracelet from Punk. Come to find out, it had AJ Lee's name and his dog's name.
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram, I think. But it was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool. What would be cool is if they somehow get Drew's wife's involved, but also AJ Lee comes back for like something or something. I don't know why, but
well, I know Drew's wife had emergency surgery before Clash of the Castle, so I really hope she's okay. But I was thinking that too. I was really hoping get AJ involved in this feud. It couldn't be a more perfect time to have her be involved than this rivalry that's gotten so
Drew claim more AJ Lee. Punk loses his shit. He's like, I want an unsanctioned match at SummerSlam. I don't give a damn if I'm cleared.
But the interesting thing too, we keep talking about Money in the Bank. Drew said he's going to win the briefcase. So I have a feeling he's going to be in the match. You mentioned about LA Knight costs and Logan Paul and stuff. I can definitely see Punk not just costing Drew, but destroying Drew, just beating the hell out of him in that match.
I did not know that Drew was qualifying or was in a qualifying. I don't think he's
qualified, but he said, I'm going to win the briefcase. So
did they announce
he'll be in the match?
Did they announce the match, what match it is?
I have no clue. I bet this week we'll get it yet. I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah.
But still, just awesome stuff. Even if neither of them are on SmackDown, who cares? We got a great moment there. And then the main event, which was 1 minute of Cody versus Solo, ended in a DQ, because of course it did. The Tongans came out, KO and Orton made the save, and they cornered Solo. He was pretending to plead, and then he's laughing. And guess who arrived? Finally, after all this time, Tama Tonga is here in the best shape of his life, too. I mean, he's never.
You mean Jacob Fatu?
Or Jacob Fatu, sorry. And I just realized on the PowerPoint I have it wrong. That's why I said that wrong.
I was gonna say Tama Tonga is the first person who joined Solo.
Hey, there's too many bloodline members, man. There's so many.
He made another mistake last week.
No, Jacob Fatu. That's he made such an impact. And he, like I said, best shape of his career, definitely, looking at his physique and just destroying KO, Orton, and Cody. That splash you see in the picture there through the table for a guy that size to do that.
So I'm not sure if you follow Jacob Fatu's work or anything like that, but I recently saw a video because I have no idea what he's capable of. So I saw a video of top 50 moves that he does. If he's able to do those moves in WWE, holy shit. He is very athletic. He does springboard moves and dives like they're nothing. I think if you know Tiffany Stratton's finisher where she does the prettiest moonsault ever, Jacob Fatu does that move. He also does the Samoan. He also does the Samoan spike and a roll through spear. So I'm with Solo and Roman, I don't know. But I was thinking to myself, it would be crazy if Jacob Fatu and Solo teamed together and they both did their finisher would be a double Samoan spike.
Oh.
I thought that would be pretty cool, and I said it first, just letting you know. So if you guys see it later, that was my idea first.
He has a badass nickname, doesn't he? The Samoan Wolf or something. I know
I don't know.
Something, but it's just.
But he does suicide dives. He does springboard. He did a springboard clothesline. I saw, and I'm like, holy shit! This big man that can outpower you can also outrun you and be more athletic than you.
And other than that, too, his impressive moves. That man can talk. I have seen his promos that he's cut with companies. He is so good. And I really hope that they let him talk and they just don't have him be like when Solo was first in WWE and just didn't talk till now. I hope they actually let Fatu talk. I know they have like a big acknowledgement ceremony, so that'll be
that's what, this Friday?
segment. Yeah. And a 6-man tag is official for Money in the Bank. It's Cody, KO, and Orton versus the Bloodline. I'm wondering how they're going to play into this in the story. I really hope Fatu's in this match.
That's what I was going to say. I was just about to ask you, out of the Bloodline, who is going to be in the match? Because I saw that on Instagram, and I'm like, okay. So is it Solo, Tama, and Tongaloa, or is it Solo, Tama, and Jacob Fatu? Or
the interesting thing at the end of SmackDown was that both Tongaloa, like both of them looked confused. Like they were like, who's this guy? What's he doing here? So it seems like Solo is doing stuff without communicating to others. And Heyman didn't see it coming too. It seems like Solo's the one like pulling the strings and doing everything. I wouldn't be surprised that he not kicks anyone out, but like kicks one of them to the curb, like either Tongaloa or Tamatonga. And it's like, oh no, Fatu's going to be in this match for Money in the Bank. Because I definitely think Solo's going to be in it. And I definitely think Fatu should be in it to showcase his skills and make it a big match. So,
yeah, unless you want to like maybe have Jacob Fatu debut at SummerSlam, but like it'd probably be like a tag match though or something like that.
Well, I talked about this last week, but apparently Cody versus Solo is rumored to be the main event of SummerSlam. So
yeah,
in this 6-man tag, I wouldn't be surprised if they had Solo pin Cody or get the pin over someone to keep building him up. So that's why I think but I've heard other people have theories of like, well, since Solo's the tribal chief, maybe he doesn't have to wrestle. He'll have both Tongaloa, Tamatonga, and then Fatu just be the ones teaming.
Yeah.
So who knows?
That could be the case.
But oh my God, is Jacob Fatu a difference maker? I think they were trying to make the Bloodline, this new one, like a main event team. I think Fatu's that difference maker. He really is. He's that threat.
And I remember everyone saying like when Jacob Fatu debuts, he's gonna like outshine everyone in Bloodline. And I'm just like, he might be. And then when he debuted, I'm like, okay, yeah, he's definitely outshining everyone. Now that I've seen like his little bit of his work, I'm like, yeah, I can understand why.
Well, now, it all depends on presentation too, because I still think Solo's going to be the guy.
If you're just a casual wrestling fan who doesn't know who Jacob Fatu is, then I'm sure that he won't really outshine at first for some people, but if you're a person who watches like wrestling and all that, even outside of WWE, you're going to be like, Jacob Fatu's here. He's going to kill everyone. So.
But, oh God, I'm so excited to see his work. All right, let's get into Raw Rundown here. And I think, Matt, you've just watched like certain clips of stuff, but not the whole thing. So I'll do my best to talk about like what was going on. We mentioned Drew before. He kicked off Raw and basically showed the bracelet he stole. Short promo, but very, very good promo again, building the hype to that. Chad Gable, we mentioned it, but back from the dead, apparently, and he beat Strowman and Bronson fucking Reed, two big guys, to qualify for Money in the Bank. Screw him being a heel. This man is a hero to come back from that and beat two other monsters.
What are you talking about? Chad Gable was fine. Nothing happened. Nothing happened to him. He's like the Kenny of South Park. He died, but he just came back and nothing happened. He just beat two big ass men.
I know the opening shot when Gable like came out and had like that bandage and everything, and he was surrounded by security, which was awesome. They had the truck, and Alexa Bliss was one of the people in the like part of the truck, and people were speculating because they don't do that stuff by accident anymore.
I saw that like someone like highlighting, circling, saying like everything is there for a reason. It was like circling. At first, I didn't know what it was, and then I was like, "Oh wait, that's Alexa Bliss."
It's just...
So yeah, I mean, it would make sense that she would show up.
And
I'm trying to think.
Too, I forgot about Alexa and Nikki Cross, that they were a tag team back in COVID and they won the tag titles. They're going to reunite.
Yeah, I was thinking that they would have Braun Strowman, but like maybe sort of leans towards him or something like that. But I don't know, because with Rowan being a part of the group, you would think Strowman would also be it, like the last remnants of the Wyatt family.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. It would make sense. The thing I really want to talk about with the Wyatt Six was after Gable won, Nikki Cross came out, scared the shit out of everyone, handed Michael Cole a box, turned out to be a VHS tape. I think like an hour later they played it. I don't know if you saw the video. I really wanted, or if you haven't, I really want you to.
I think I saw like a bit of the text, and it was Bo Dallas talking to Uncle Howdy.
Oh my God, it was. It hits you right in the feels. It's the first time we've seen like Bo Dallas like full face in like a long time. And it was kind of like an interview or interrogation type style thing. And Uncle Howdy, they brought up Wyatt. They're like, how do you feel about your brother's death? And Bo Dallas, it hits you right in the feels in terms of like, I just wanted to be like him. He was my hero. I looked up to him and everything. And he's like, now I feel like nothing because he's gone. It was so emotional. And I think
he said like, he said like no one feels like how I feel about this or whatever. I saw that. I was just like, oh man. Yeah.
And I think Uncle Howdy was even like, are you, I forgot the specific words, but like, disrespecting or something like his legacy by doing this. And Gable was like, or Gable, Jesus. Dallas was like,
nothing happened with Gable. What are we talking about?
No, but Bo Dallas is like, they forgot about us. And Bo was like, I want people to he explained like his motivations, and they were so good of like, I wanted to remember like what Bray was all about and his character and everything. And Dallas was like, people forgot about us. And then he basically said like that we reminded them of who we were. That was like one of the last things he said before it cut out. And this to me was the best promo I've ever seen this guy cut. Like he sounded like Bray. Like his voice, like he got darker and it sounded like Bray. His acting chops were so good in this. Props to him for doing it. This had to be very tough to do.
I don't even think he was even acting with half of it. I feel like the majority of that was just him coming from his heart or whatever with the bow part. But yeah.
Well, yeah, that had to be so tough to do, especially because like Uncle Howdy, like when he had to ask like, how do you feel about your brother? Like that had to be so tough to get it out, say that stuff. So I gotta give props to him for doing that.
You talked about how like what Uncle Howdy asked him if he was ruining his legacy or whatever.
Yeah,
I saw something. I'm wondering if they mentioned that on Raw, because I saw something on Instagram where like someone was just like saying, "Oh, they're not respecting Bray by doing this. They're disrespecting his work by doing this." And I'm like, "The fuck are you talking about? How are they disrespecting Bray by continuing his work? It's his brother."
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't be doing this if Bo didn't approve of it. If JoJo, Bray's wife, widow,
the whole family, the rotunda family,
like the whole family, they wouldn't have agreed to this. But this is from their perspective. This is what Bray would want, and even I would know that this is what Bray would want. So for someone to complain about this, saying, "Oh, you're tarnishing his legacy and stuff," like fuck you.
Yeah.
Like that's not at all what that's about. But
they're doing the opposite. They're honoring it.
Yeah.
The fact that they're even bringing it up and explaining how this is why they have the motivations was amazing. And I saw a lot of comments that hit, and it's been no secret that we've all gone through, we mentioned it in previous episodes, that we've all gone through passings before, me, you, and Troy this year. And there were so many comments of people saying, of recent passings from family members but they said they had this. It was tough. They had to strengthen up to like watch this, but when they did, they said it hit them really good. Like this Bo Dallas thing, like it got me emotional too, and I watched it. So yeah, like stuff like that. Like when wrestling can make you feel like that, it's as good as it gets. So yeah,
that's why we love it. We love it for the thrill of it. We love when we're happy, when we're sad, when we get angry. If we didn't show any emotion to it, we wouldn't give a fuck about this.
Yeah, this podcast wouldn't exist.
Yeah, we wouldn't be watching wrestling. We wouldn't be like, we would be doing whatever else. But this is like, to us, this is our favorite movie. This is our favorite TV show because this is something that we invest in because we give a damn about.
Mm-hmm. I'm invested as shit in this. I really am. This is good stuff. But that was really somber there, but emotional, but amazing stuff right there. More fun stuff. Braun Breaker is still him and killing people. He destroyed Kaiser and Sheamus, and now him versus Sammy is official for the IC title at Money in the Bank. And man, if they're gonna skyrocket him already and give him the belt, like holy shit, are they pushing him right off the bat?
The thing is, I don't know, because like I feel like Braun should win it, but at the same time, it's just like I still want Chad Gable. But then again, if he's in the Money in the Bank and Gable has the briefcase, what's to say that Gable doesn't cash in for the IC title? I know he said he would do that for the world title, but
yeah, you never know. I think Kaiser apparently is injured again. This injury bug sucks. It sucks for him too because I've loved his work, especially recently. But I hope it's minor. Hopefully nothing terrible. But yeah, basically Sheamus is like the veteran to put guys over at this point, like guys like Breaker. So I remember a few months ago, I was complaining so much, like, why is Breaker beating these jobbers? I hate that they bring up guys like that. Well, we're no longer in that stage. Breaker is in storylines, and he is legit. He is.
He's already going to a pay-per-view within, like, what, 2 months?
Yeah.
I mean, you could have said he could have been in King of the Ring, but they weren't ready. They didn't want to push him then.
Well, they probably didn't want to have him lose.
Yeah.
In any capacity, so yeah.
Because they wanted Gunther to win, so and he doesn't usually lose, so.
Mm-hmm.
But he also created a storyline for Breaker from that too, because that's what he is right now. He's just wrecking everyone. He doesn't give a damn. Yep. I mean, we talk about murdering. I mean, we talked about murdering earlier with Chad Gable. We're talking about Ricochet when he died on that car.
Everyone's murdering everyone. Drew murdered Punk. Breaker murdered Ricochet. I mean, everyone's murdered everybody. It's probably not safe backstage right now in WWE, kayfabe wise. But yeah, great stuff again. So Lyra Valkyria qualified for Money in the Bank, and not too surprised by that. The one thing I'm surprised, and we'll slide into like Liv Morgan stuff. It seems like we're getting the feud between her and Vega for the title. I am surprised they did not do Liv versus Valkyria, or they haven't done it yet, because she dethroned Becky, and Lyra's kind of like, Becky is like Lyra's hero and like someone she looks up to. So I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't do that match yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because like, I feel like Lyra could be a potential Rumble winner or something like that. Like, I feel like if she does get a tall shot, I feel like it would be like on a big stage. Not saying that Money in the Bank isn't a big stage, but you know, I feel like it'd be, because like if she does face Lyra, if anything, it might be at SummerSlam. Honestly, I would think, because Nia's facing Bayley.
It would depend on. We'll get to Rhea.
Yeah,
her health.
If she's cleared. But even so, I feel like Liv and Rhea would more fit more of WrestleMania next year. But Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? We'll keep up with the Liv Morgan stuff because, man, she's definitely going to be in the Judgment Day very soon because her flirting with Dom and her being in the Judgment Day's locker room, and then eventually, Awesome Truth's reign is over because she helped them win the tag title. She seduced R-Truth, and he fell for it, and that costed them. I mean,
I like Carlito's role in this, where he's just like seeing as he's just like, "That's cool."
his eyes wide open, and he's like, "That's cool." He's such a great addition to Judgment Day. Like he's the comedy guy.
I'm glad Carlito's being used more because it felt like he was always like here, there on SmackDown, but that could have been either because of either scheduling or maybe it could have been just because of it's only 2 hours. So I'm glad they're actually using Carlito like every week on Raw.
Well, he's just a better heel too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just great stuff. I know it kind of sucks. It's like they just were tag champs, Valor and Priest, and now they get the titles right back. I mean, good for JD. He holds his first titles in the main roster, but it makes sense with the story.
The same champs don't win the titles back. It's Finn and JD.
Yeah, Finn
so
and
it's
JD.
Different. But I was just like, I saw that and I was like, oh no, Finn's going to hit his finisher and win this. And I'm like, oh man. I'm like, because like, I was thinking Awesome Truth would go to SummerSlam as tag champs, honestly. Especially considering Miz is from Cleveland and they're going to be in Cleveland for SummerSlam. But I don't know.
Maybe they'll win them back. Maybe. I don't know what else Miz would do at SummerSlam. Like Truth got his moment at Mania. They'll give Miz his moment in his hometown. Maybe
that might make sense because they probably would want Miz to win in front of Cleveland, considering Logan Paul most likely will lose.
Well, Miz is actually liked in Cleveland.
Yeah. Well, right now he is, yes.
Yeah.
That's because of R-Truth.
Yeah, true. The other stuff from Raw, speaking of Judgment Day, Priest and Rollins. I don't know if you saw this, but the stakes have been upped for their match. So if Seth wins, if Seth wins, Priest is kicked out of the Judgment Day. If Priest retains, then as long as he's champion, Seth can't challenge for the world title again. And my first reaction was, Priest's gonna get kicked out anyway. He's getting kicked out either way. It's just not the way Priest wants to. He's gonna get eventually ousted. It does make it a little unpredictable, I guess, for their match. And I guess I like that they're adding stakes like that.
Well, because it's like people can say, like, okay, are they still going to go with Priest versus Gunther, or are they going to go with Rollins versus Gunther? Because the money match would be Rollins versus Gunther, even though Rollins would have a short reign. But to be fair, he has the longest reign with the title to begin with, so it's not like, and he can't hold it shorter than Drew did. Because he was like, what, 5 minutes champ at WrestleMania? But I'm like, yeah, I mean, but if Seth has a short reign, that's not going to ruin him, because Seth's already an established person, and Gunther being Seth would propel him. But at the same time, I don't know, because like people were saying like how Priest, was just a filler champion, and everyone thought that he was going to lose. I mean, not me, but everyone thought he was going to lose.
Troy.
Yeah, the wrong people from the predictions.
You 100% again.
Yeah, but like. And like Priest was like saying, even I think I saw him like afterwards on the like the interviews afterwards or whatever, the post conference
conference,
and he was just saying like, I'm not just some part like whatever champion, a fake champion, paperweight champion or whatever. He's like, no, I'm actually defending this title, and I proved it by beating Drew or whatever. So I think Damian is going to retain at Money in the Bank. An early prediction for me, no, but I'm calling it 3 weeks in advance. But I think Priest is going to retain because I feel like you could do Gunther and Seth later down the line.
Yeah, that's true. And I feel like, too, I've said this before, but Priest really isn't acting too much like a heel. He's the one that challenged Seth. You don't see that from heel champions. Usually they cower out, but he challenged Seth, and Priest accepted like the gentleman's agreement they had. And he's like trying to help them with this whole Liv Morgan situation. Like, he's acting like a good guy here.
Well, I think it's also because of the fact that people say that Priest shouldn't be champion or whatever, and that maybe that's why he did that, just to be like, no, I'm going to prove myself by beating the first champion of this title who held it the longest or whatever. That's what when he challenged Seth, that's what I was thinking through my head, was that he wants to prove for everyone that he deserves to be world champion. And what better way to do it than challenge the original title holder who held the title first?
That is true. And I feel like to establish Priest and the reign, I feel like because they've mentioned like, oh, Priest just gets help from the Judgment Day every time in matches. I feel like we're still going to do Priest Gunther at SummerSlam, because if Priest can beat Seth clean and maybe Seth shakes his hand and he's like, you earned it, we'll keep leaning towards this face turn. He'll get ousted from the Judgment Day along with Rhea, and Priest will be maybe not mega babyface, but he'll be over, and then he'll be the babyface in the Gunther feud. I feel like that's where we're heading. It's so random to just give it back to Seth just so you can have this money match with Gunther that 99% of people think Gunther's winning that title at SummerSlam. So
wait, so you think that Priest and Rhea will be kicked out? And then it's going to be like the new Judgment Day would be like Finn, JD, Dom, Liv, and Carlito, maybe?
I think that makes sense. I think that's what makes the most sense. Rhea, how can you bring her back as a heel? She's going to get a super pop when she comes back.
Yeah.
People want to see her kick Liv's ass. And Priest, like I said, are you going to do heel versus heel, Priest versus Gunther at SummerSlam? Like, you got to have someone be the good guy. It's not going to be Gunther. So,
yeah.
You never know. Maybe Seth wins and somehow Matt's wrong in the predictions for once. But
nah.
We'll get
WWE knows how to listen to me.
Yeah, but that'll be exciting to do predictions again. The other thing from Raw, it was the last thing. Cross beat Kofi. That's it. Is there much to talk about? I mean, it's been an intriguing.
I forgot that match happened.
I almost did too, but I guess it's been an okay feud and good for Karrion to have a more legit heat and character wise. But
I did see that he put like the 7 up.
Oh yeah,
where he's just like. And I was like, why the hell did he put a 7 number up? And it was like to represent that he's beaten 7 former world champions. It's like, okay. What does that accomplish?
You haven't won a world title yet, so.
Yeah, what the fuck is Cross done? He's only been NXT world champion. Oh, he's beat, I think it was like Ziggler. Yeah, everyone's beaten Ziggler before. He beat, what was it, Kofi, now Kofi. Okay, Kofi won it the one time. It was like, I forget who else it was. I think Balor was one of them.
Jeff Hardy. Who he didn't. Yeah, I was going to say, he beat Hardy eventually, but he didn't in his first debut.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, okay, he beat, an older Jeff Hardy. Woo! like the last couple of years of Jeff in WWE, what did he really do? I mean, besides the US
Bringing back his theme.
Yeah, he brought back his theme. One night. It was like, what? Like, okay, he's beaten 7 former world champions that haven't even been champion for how long now?
Yeah.
That's like saying, like, Braun Breaker. Oh, he pinned Dolph Ziggler. Oh, yeah, woo, he's a former world champion. Who cares? Like,
I beat Jinder Mahal, a former world champion.
yeah, Drew beat Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam 2 years ago. Woo! 3MB.
Just got to get that comedy in there for that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't matter unless you actually do something.
Alrighty,
It's still not over, so.
Oh, well, we'll see what his future holds, but let's get into ring discoveries here. I'll start. We'll get the sad news out right away. I don't know if you saw this, Matt, because this just happened a few hours ago. This is so bad for Roman and the family. His father, Sika, passed away today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, because it was very recent. He passed away at the age of 79. So prayers for Roman and the whole family, because that's just so devastating.
The whole 800 family members of the bloodline.
But now that moment you see the picture Hell in a Cell 2020, it's definitely different. That's the last time we ever saw him on WWE programming. And he lived I bet he lived a fulfilled life and everything. And he lived at almost 80, but everything. But that's just, especially for Roman, but for everybody, that's got to hit really bad. It's going to, yeah. But
I can't take it seriously when the picture's right next to Joe Hendry.
Oh, sorry. I know.
I'm like trying not to laugh so much.
I know, but just wanted to talk about that since it just happened, and prayers for Sika and his family and everything. But you can laugh again because Joe Hendry is trending. Oh my God! Man.
So
I believe
to clarify this, so I watched NXT with my best friend Ian. You know him, Dylan, and we watched it, and he's not that huge of a wrestling fan, but I think he's trying to go to he's gonna get tickets for us for SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. But I like showed him like Joe Hendry who like showed up in NXT and all that. And like I said, here's the hype behind it, and I like played like the music video for him and all that, and he's just like, I believe in Joe Hendry. So what's funny is that you don't even know this, but on our guys' night mixtape in Ian's car that we usually listen to music, we added that song to it. So
you're just jamming in the car.
We're not going to be driving to SummerSlam. We're going to be hearing this music.
Put the window down. Just go, I believe in
Joe Hendry.
I know on Spotify that theme song like hit top 5. Even at an NHL game last night, the Stanley Cup game last night, there were signs of I believe in Joe Hendry at hockey games. Clash at the Castle had signs for him. He's trending.
Put it this way, he's so over to the point where Ian, even though he's not a wrestling fan, he said he would buy his merch.
I would. Hell yeah.
I'd buy I believe in Joe Hendry shirt.
I believe in him, man.
He's like, is he going to be at SummerSlam? I said, I don't think so, but I hope so. I doubt it.
I don't know when his TNA contract ends. I forgot if it was like the end of the year or towards that. But I know people are speculating, like, once his contract ends, they got to sign in NXT.
Yeah, I mean, the reaction he got in WWE and that how much, like just even on YouTube and stuff, how much, like, he's been trending and all that, whether it's YouTube or social media or whatever, because I kept seeing it everywhere on social media and saying that it was, like, the most trending thing since, like, something before, like, WrestleMania or something like that.
One of the most liked things since WrestleMania videos.
Yeah. And I'm just like, like if once he's done with TNA, he is going straight to WWE. I can tell you that right now. He is so over with the crowd.
Well, even if with the TNA contract, now that they got this like mergence of these companies, and he had a backstage thing with Shawn Michaels, said, say my name and I'll appear. We're gonna see him more, even if he's still under contract at TNA.
Yeah.
But once his contract's up, he's gonna be WWE full time.
Oh yeah. And it's cool too, because like you have like with the whole TNA and WWE like merger stuff, it's pretty cool too because you get to see actual like wrestlers that used to be in WWE that are now in TNA show back up and all that. Like I think the last NXT pay-per-view they did, Dana Brooke returned and did like a squad or something. But the commentator said Dana Brooke at first, but then said, Ash by Elegance, referring to her new name in TNA. So I thought that was pretty cool. That they mentioned Dana Brooke, but they also mentioned that no, this is her new name. So, like, I would like to see.
And they're like advancing stories too, like the Joe Hendry Frankie Kazarian storyline, like kept advancing in that battle royal. I'm happy they're doing that.
Yeah, so they're combining storylines within both companies, which I think is pretty cool. I remember seeing Joe Hendry get eliminated immediately in that battle royal, and I was upset.
They were chinging bullshit at the crowd.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's because he was too over. No one liked that.
But hey, man, with that amazing face that I can't take seriously either. Looking at the future is bright as his teeth and his hair.
If whether you're a wrestling fan or not, and you don't know about this, just look up. I believe in Joe Hendry on social media, like YouTube or something. His music video. He plays
addicted to that song.
He plays the guitar and everything, and it is awesome.
Yes, we indeed believe. Let's go to Indianapolis, Pat McAfee's town. So we know where the Royal Rumble's going to be. It is going to be in Indianapolis for Royal Rumble 2025, and a future Mania and SummerSlam are going to be in Indy as well. Pittsburgh can't catch a break. McAfee politicked his way to get Indianapolis to host Big Four pay-per-views before Pittsburgh did. And
I'm sure Logan Paul fondled his way to have Cleveland be in SummerSlam. So
yeah, all the wrestlers, Drew.
Logan Paul, can you do that for a future WrestleMania so that we can go back to WrestleMania?
Too cold in Cleveland, even when they did Philly. And too small of a city. Well, we gotta have Kurt Angle vouch for SummerSlam in Pittsburgh. Then we gotta have Kurt call Triple H or something.
Sure.
I will say for Indy, Lucas Oil Stadium, where the Colts play, it is a good stadium to host a WrestleMania or a Big Four. Like, it's a pretty cool stadium. It's not the first city I think of when I think of electric crowds. If it wasn't for the shitty weather that Chicago gets, that's like an automatic. Like, how have they not had a Big Four in a while? But because it's so damn cold, they can't do anything. I mean, except a SummerSlam. But I'm surprised SummerSlam hasn't been in Chicago yet, because it's one of the better crowds America has.
That'd probably be. That might be a CM Punk. CM Punk might say that for like maybe future or something like that, or maybe like a Rumble or something to be in Chicago.
Survivor Series wasn't Chicago.
Yeah, they did do Survivor Series in Chicago last year. So,
but Triple H, we vouched for this like a month ago. Please have SummerSlam come to Pittsburgh. Our trending podcast of 20 viewers can tell you, please come to Pittsburgh. It's such a popular podcast. I know you'll watch this.
What I really want to do is go to a Rumble at some point. That is something that is like, I know you didn't get to go, but me and Troy went to WrestleMania, and I know we're all trying to go to SummerSlam. That's really good and all that. And once we do that, me personally, the next big thing that I really want to do is Royal Rumble, because that would just be incredible to experience, especially if a huge surprise happens. I mean, I was in your house, Dylan, for when Edge returned. Mm-hmm. And you remember how I freaked out.
We all freaked out. That was amazing.
I was running around like a damn monkey.
You were going, you think you know me, running around. I was in shock. Troy was crying.
It was like we were debating whether or not it was going to happen, and then it did.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
it
like,
was.
Imagine if we were.
You want to get all the big 4 pay-per-views. That's your goal.
Yeah, but imagine if we were like at a Royal Rumble where something like that happened. I would lose my shit and my voice. But
Hulk Hogan's back. We get to see that live. Number 30.
Carl
No, but that I agree. That would be amazing. Something I didn't before we get to Rhea, something I didn't put in here, but I just realized it. We finally have a damn date for this WrestleMania documentary with the whole Cody, Seth, Roman, Rock situation. It is July 3rd when it's coming out. And when we texted about this, you were like, there was a documentary? And we reminded you it was the one about the whole situation.
I think I remember. I just forgot because it's just been busy.
Everyone forgot because they promoted it and then just were like, oh, we're just not going to promote it anymore. The Rock doesn't want it to be released yet. And now finally it is. It's crazy how early they're doing this to be like, oh yeah, these were our big plans for Mania and this is how we pivoted. So, but I'm definitely going to watch it because that's intriguing to see all the behind the scenes stuff of that situation. And the Rock's forming to the final boss. So,
yep.
All right, let's get to Rhea Ripley here and the injury update. We mentioned her earlier. Get my phone out here just to get like the discussions. So there have been reports, like there are original reports that Rhea wasn't scheduled for SummerSlam at first because she wouldn't be cleared in time. But now sources have indicated that Ripley can return to the pay-per-view whenever she's ready. They said even in a non-wrestling capacity. So, but yeah, obviously discussions about her being the world title program. So it seems like they're trying to have her come back by SummerSlam, but they're not sure if she'll be cleared. I hope she is, but I mean, that better be safe than like risk your body out there. But like a Rhea Liv match at SummerSlam.
Yeah, personally, I already said it before. I think it should happen at WrestleMania. I feel like it's that type of like match that should happen at WrestleMania. I mean, we're doing Drew versus CM Punk at SummerSlam. Like that match should also be at Mania, but you know,
they're trying to make SummerSlam like Mania. You know that.
Yeah, and I understand. And I know they're going to like 2 nights too, so like they are definitely trying to make it as big. But I don't know, because then like if you have this match here at SummerSlam, then it's like, okay, how are we going to make it a big match for WrestleMania? I mean, I know that's going to be like months in advance, but you know,
you're really just saying that so your girl Liv can have a long title reign.
She's not my girl. I don't know why you keep saying that.
Not anymore. She was until Dominic happened.
Nah, Tiffany's my girl.
But I will say with Liv, I don't even think she's defended the belt like once against Becky and hasn't held it as long as her other reign. It's already 10 times better with this character than her reign 2 years ago, just because of her character arc and everything. And like I said with Rhea, I mean, she was cheered at WrestleMania. You guys were cheering for her in Philly in person. Yep. Against Becky, one of the most over guys on the roster. She was getting booed. If you're going to really have her come back as a heel, that would give me like when Seth Rollins came back from injury in like 2016 and they were going nuts for him, but they kept him a heel and they shouldn't have done that. So yeah. I hope they don't do that here. They can have her think that she's going to be in the Judgment Day or everything, and then they'll oust her. So, yeah, I just really hope that. And I hope Rhea Ripley beats the shit out of Liv Morgan and gives Dominic a low blow.
Yeah. I feel like that would be like, maybe that's what would probably happen at SummerSlam. Like, they don't have a match, but like maybe Rhea comes back at SummerSlam and beats the shit out of Liv. Maybe, and then beats up Dom. And then, but it still sets it up later down the line for Mania.
Maybe. That's your dream. That's your fantasy booking. All right. Let's get into Takedown top 5 here. It is our top 5 funniest wrestling moments. And I don't know if you have a list ready, but luckily for once in my life, I do have a list ready. So if you're not ready, you can spend this time while I'm going over my list and you can think of funny wrestling moments.
I have two at the top of my head right now, but I don't know if I would list it in top 5 though, because like to me they're all just funny, to be honest. So
yeah, you don't have to be too official. I just do that for the sake of PowerPoints and stuff. But I got an honorable mention, and it's the Lex Luger t-shirt botch. T-shirts are too tight too, Billy. God, that promo was it's gonna be a lot of it's so bad it's good moments, and this is one of the top ones. This is like way past Luger's prime at some random event. It's just the shit that Luger said. Like, I forget exactly, like, the t-shirt thing's the thing I most recognize. He couldn't even, like, rip it off. I know at the very end, he was like, doors locked too. Just like everything was just a disaster, what Luger said. And he was never known for promos, but this was probably one of the funniest I've ever seen. Number 5 is Titus World Slide. And Matt's immediate reaction, that face is amazing. And this is the one that's like unintentional. I mean, it was funny, but like unintentional, like wasn't supposed to happen. What made the moment, besides O'Neal completely sliding, was Michael Cole's reaction. And this was like when he was still getting yelled at by Vince in his ear. And this seemed to be like one of the few times that this man was actually having fun at commentary until now recent years where he finally has freedom to have fun. Like this. And this is the only memorable moment of this freaking pay-per-view. Do you remember anything else from that greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view besides that?
Strowman won a title that was never to be seen ever again.
Sure.
And then Danielson got chopped to oblivion or something. That's it. I don't remember anything else.
This is the most memorable moment of that. This and Titus's career. I mean, he's a great ambassador now for WWE, but this is his defining moment. Number 4 is Scott Steiner's math.
I had that on my list.
I mean, everyone does, man. You got to take my 1 1/3% chance of having it on the list, and you take it 60.
You subtract it by adding Troy to it, and then you take 33%.
You got a 63 3% chance. You get 129% chance at Sacrifice. I know damn well Troy would have this on this list too.
I was just thinking about that before you started. I was like, "Oh, I got another good one."
Steiner was the master of like so bad it's good promos, and I don't know if that was a script or if that was just him ad-libbing. This is his greatest career moment.
Honestly, you could literally have anything with Scott Steiner promo wise, and it's hilarious. There was like something in like TNA where he beat up a man, said he's fat. It's like that.
I think it was Samoa Joe or something. He's fat.
And then like he beat up a fat person. He's like, he's fat. I fucking hate fat people or something like that.
Oh, Steiner, you freaking legend. Number 3 is Brock Lesnar dancing with a Money in the Bank briefcase, and that picture I know is going to break Matt.
Oh, no.
And the thing is, especially me, I hated when he won the briefcase. But at least we got this. At least we got Brock dancing, holding the briefcase like a stereo, and I think he was in the ring with like Seth and Kofi, and Seth was breaking. He could not hold it. He was so funny. And even Heyman was laughing. Like the moment when they were like playing both their theme songs too, and Seth was playing and Paul Heyman was like dancing to it, and Brock was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
He's like, "Stop it." And then the point where later on he's like, he got a year for the cash in the contract. Brock didn't know that. A year? You didn't tell me it was a year.
It was so gold. He should have held that longer just so we could see more amazing moments with that. But yeah, it's just Brock is just comedy. And one actually, I don't know if you have it on the list, but Brock, I'm not going to say it, but Brock's just been so amazing. He's had so much comedy moments. Number 2 is Stone Cold attacking Booker T in a grocery store. Stone Cold was funny too, but Booker T was just gold throughout this whole thing. Like the noises he was making, was getting beat up, like and his face when Stone Cold was revealed. Like Stone Cold coming out of the cooler, like drinking milk and then beating him up again. And then, of course, the Bryce Jack on a jackass at the very end. They had other great moments, too, like at a church, Stone Cold attacking him. Those two, like, they didn't have any memorable matches, but they had memorable moments. And it was just, it was just hilarious to see. So, yeah, that's number 2. But my most funny moment in wrestling is HBK mocking Hulk Hogan.
No!
Shawn Michaels is so criminally underrated in the funny department with DX and this. Oh my God, that freaking disguise. Oh, just mocking how old Hogan is, like limping to the ring and then slipping. Yeah, and then just mocking the poses. Crap. And then like him say like, "Oh, on camera, brother. Like I'm a great guy, but off screen, it's a different story, brother. Oh, brother. And then like he accidentally like took off like the bandana, and then it was just like an awkward moment of silence, and then he was just like, "Let me tell you something." It was so fucking gold. I never not laugh at the moment. We're still laughing. It is my number 1. It'll forever be my number 1. It's so good. I know I probably stole a few from Matt's list. So, Matt, what do you got for me?
Oh man. Okay. So number 5, this one, I'm not even sure if you'd remember this, but I recently watched this like out of like the funniest people list or whatever in WWE. And it was around the time where the Golden Truth was a thing, or before that. And it just, I don't know, for some reason, I just couldn't stop laughing at this. There was a part where like, it got to the point where like Goldust wanted R-Truth to be his partner after R-Truth's been wanting to have Goldust as his partner. It was like a whole back and forth thing. And it was like they were in the bathroom together. And I was just like, okay. And like R-Truth opens one of the stall doors and Goldust is just standing on the toilet, not even wearing any boots. He's barefoot, but the rest of his he has his costume, the rest of his entire body, his foot falls in the toilet. He's like, oh! He's like getting out of the toilet. I don't know why, but I repeated that multiple times. I'm like, why is that so funny? Number 4, I would say this is a similar bathroom joke one, but it was like it was when Eddie Guerrero had Big Show eat something or whatever it was. And he just like was like constipated or something in the bathroom or whatever. Just like he started having so much diarrhea or something. Number 3, I would say Brock Lesnar with the mariachi band.
That's what I not said because I'm like, you might say this when Brock does this. Oh my God.
It's just Brock is a big guy who will tear you apart, and anything he does that's anything sort of funny, it's just like you have to laugh at it. Oh man, okay, what number are we at? 3?
2, I think.
Or no, 2. Oh man. I'd put Shawn Michaels impersonation as Hulk Hogan. That I had to put that on there because that's just way too funny. I will do an honorable mention. Honorable mention, I would say Vince McMahon running down to the Royal Rumble 2005. Where it was the botch match of Batista and Cena, and Vince got all pissed, and he's like, ah! He threw down his jacket, he ran into the ring and tore both of his quads, and then he fell right on his ass. And he started
sitting there.
He's yelling at both of them. He's like, ah! Like a little baby. But number one, to me, this was always a funny thing for me that I always would like to look back. And this is DX pretending to be Vince and Shane McMahon. I like the whole when they acted like Vince and Shane. They were Triple H was doing the Vince or whatever. And it's crazy because he is now Vince, considering he's the new owner of the company. But in that sense, no other sense, Triple H is not the same as Vince. but and it was just like Shawn was just like, "Look at me, Dad! I'm moving around." He's like doing his whole thing that Shane would do. And then Triple H and Vince, stop it! And then Shawn just falling on the ground, and then he died or something like that. I don't know. I thought that was always one of the funniest things. I mean, there's plenty of funny moments that I probably could have put on this list that I'm just not thinking of right now, but those are just ones that are top of my head.
Any R-Truth moment that's not PG thing was great.
Yeah.
Just the whole pretending the Judgment Day, we're family.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about all kinds of DX stuff. I didn't even get into Kurt Angle. I didn't even get into Kurt Angle with his funny shit.
Oh, God. I guess another honorable mention, because we talk about it all the time, would be the You're a Boy. I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man who loves to play with boys.
Wait, no.
And then I'm going to get on top of you. And
wait, no. He kept getting frustrated. The whole "you suck" sign thing with Edge. The sexy Kurt song. There's so many good moments of anyone. I mean, I didn't
original DX.
I didn't even get into Booker T with all his his commentary, let alone, is just the hilarious shit. But I mean, him with being as King Booker, and he would just over exemplified it.
You mentioned Goldust. Him and Booker had some funny moments.
Yeah, too. And I was gonna say another one I could think of was specific was it was King of the Ring 2002, and it was Goldust and Booker T backstage, and then The Rock shows up. And then Gold's just I am too down with it. And Rock's just oh, you're so too down. What the hell's wrong with you? And he's just it's what the hell are you doing touching yourself like that for?
Yeah, there's Rock moments too we could have easily had.
Him telling the coach to bend over and he kicks him in his ass or whatever. There's so many good moments that this is a list of instead of top 5, this could be a list of top 50 if you really wanted to. But we would be here all day, so we ain't doing that.
One more I'll mention is Kane impersonating Hulk Hogan. Something in front of 20,000 screaming Canaanites.
The Cane-a-Rooney. It's just when everyone trying to do the spin-a-rooney and the Cane-a-Rooney.
Cane-a-Rooney. Yeah, but you're right. We would be here all night long. And I don't want that. So that's going to do it for another episode. Finally, one with just me and Matt. Screw you, Troy. Screw you.
Yeah, fuck you, Troy.
I bet the next time I think we're going to try to get you and Troy. And I think I mentioned this too. I want to get, because last week I had my friend Aiden from Millersville. I want to get you, Troy, Aiden, even get Dom on here. I want a big thing for Money in the Bank predictions, because that would be so cool to do that type of predictions.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I was thinking maybe too, with SummerSlam, possibly maybe having Ian too, considering he's going to be going, to get his perspective or something. as like a non-wrestling
if he
fan.
has one.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see. But thank you, Matt, as always, for coming on. Next week, who knows with guests? It'll be a big question mark, but it might just be me, unless again we have a crazy week of wrestling. But we'll see. But have a good night, guys.